This is Jackson Argos, and you're listening to Wrestling Cheers, the most cheerful moment of your day because, of course, you're listening to Jackson Argos. Thank you.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even when you let the hate flow through you. Yes, this is Wrestling Cheers, brought to you by the brand new TrendingTopicsNetwork.com and NEO Sports Insiders. Another great episode of Wrestling Cheers, where we like to review shows, preview shows, and we even have some interviews from time to time. And like I've said before, that is what we'll be doing this week, the last of 3 interviews. But hey, please, while you're here, thank you for listening. But please rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, and Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. And you can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. And email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And head on over to whatamaneuver.net. Help support the show and buy yourself a Wrestling Cheers shirt, hoodie, onesie, tank top, a different hoodie, because there's 2 different kinds of hoodies. Help support, have Wrestling Cheers on your chest. And I think here shortly, I'm in the process of working on 2 shirt designs. One, some people know about. It's the Fight Caden Fight shirt. Going to release that to whatamaneuver.net. And there's also another design that's currently being worked on, and all I'm going to say, it's too sweet. Some people are rolling their eyes right now, but yeah, it is definitely a too sweet design, and for my own joy, I want to get it made. But anyway, yeah, this is Wrestling Cheers interview episode, and this week sat down with AIW fan, local Cleveland podcaster, fellow podcaster, El Jordano Diablo. And since this was recorded well over a month ago, so got some news. So if you head on over to the Lousy Weather Media, or you just simply search up the podcast known as Let the Hate Flow Through You that I always talk about with Jeremy Shear and El Jordano Diablo, well, I have been notified that this Monday's episode is going to be me. It was 1 week ago. I went up to Cleveland, recorded the episode. Luckily, I had a half day of work and then a doctor's appointment, and then I drove straight from my doctor's appointment to El Jordano Diablo's and record the episode. It was a really great episode. And for those of you who don't know about Let the Hate Flow Through You, is Jeremy Shear and El Jordano Diablo. Obviously, they host it, and a third person will come on, and they will talk about something that they hate. And some people pick wrestling topics, or there's been I'll be the third person to pick a wrestling topic, but there's also people that pick other topics. One person picked Grease. I'm talking about the movie. One person picked the NFL. There's another person that actually picked themselves. A whole bunch of just wide range topics. Weezer was another one. Forrest Gump. Driving is another one. There's so many really good topics. And like I said, it bounces around. Episodes are about an hour long, but my topic that I picked, I talked about smarks. Anyone who knows me, who has heard me talk about wrestling outside of this show, I'm not a real big fan of a lot of smarks and how they talk. I mean, granted, there's a certain lingo that we all have, but there's certain ones that really grind my gears. So that's what you're going to hear on that episode. And we have fun. We bounce around from a couple other topics, and we all make each other laugh. And it's a really fun show to record. It's a fun show to listen to. So many great episodes. I have 30 episodes right now that I haven't listened to on my phone because I just started listening to them so many months ago. So definitely, I think you should check it out next week when I'm on. So, yeah. Also, before we get into it, we got to talk about things going on in AIW. So, next week will be a fun episode. I have to get that all hammered out of who's coming on. I've had 2 people that I wanted to come on, but I just haven't approached them and said, like, hey, this is what we're going to do. And as actually, if it works out, we're going to have a debut on the show. Someone who hasn't been on the show yet. So, and that show that we will be talking about is AIW We've Got a Dilemma, featuring Tenille Dashwood. Matches that have been announced so far. Tenille Dashwood versus Britt Baker. Filthy Tom Lawler versus Dominic Garrini. The Production versus No Consequences. MJF versus Colt Cabana. AIW Tag Team title match, Twins versus Dedication Personified. The AIW Intense title match, Joey Janela versus DJZ. And for the AIW Absolute Championship, Nick Gage versus Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. And that is, like I said, AIW We've Got a Dilemma, featuring Tenille Dashwood, Friday, February 23rd, 7:30 bell time at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And then next month, we have AIW Enter the Dragon, March 10th, which is a Saturday, 7:30 bell time at the Tadmore Shrine, 3000 Krebs Drive, Akron, Ohio. Matches announced so far for this: Dr. Daniel C. Rockingham versus Kevin Thorne, Karen Q versus Britt Baker, and DJZ versus Trey Lamar. And there hasn't really been announced yet for this, but we do have Gauntlet for the Gold 13, Friday, March 23rd, 7:30 bell time at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. There is going to be a 420 show that has been talked about that will feature The Godfather / Papa Shango. And also, this was announced today as of this recording, because I'm recording later than normal. So thankfully, we have the official announcement of the 2018 JT Lightning Invitational Tournament, Friday, May 25th and Saturday, May 26th at Our Lady of Mount Carmel, 7:30 bell time for both days. But there's a new one. We have the Chandler Biggins Memorial Tag Team Tournament 2018. That would be May 26th. 3 o'clock bell time at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. No Back to the Future Cup. It was fun while it lasted. Maybe the Back to the Future Cup comes up later on in the year. I haven't heard an official word, but for JLIT weekend, we're doing a tag team tournament. Biggins tag team tournament. I thought it'd be like a Biggins Bowl thing, but maybe they're like getting away from the bowl thing, because I know they did that for a show or two from before I was a fan. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows coming up, and a lot of stuff going on with AIW. There's a couple other shows, local shows that are in the show notes, so check those out. And of course, every episode I put in the show notes of all the contact info that I read to you at the beginning of the show. So if you want a quick link to find us on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, it's right there. So now I'm going to not waste any more of your time, because this is a very, very long interview. We will go a little bit over an hour. And I hope people enjoyed this as much as they did last week with the interview with Steve Guy, which I had so much fun doing. And I've actually started to comprise a list of possible interviews going forward, because I have nothing set in stone, but I have ones I'm working on. I have ones, of some AIW wrestlers. I have some OCW wrestlers on my list, actually. I have, which, you know what? I'll announce this. We don't have a date right now for AIW's Absolution, but as of right now, I will conduct an interview with the entire cast of the production. Each individual member will be with me, and we're gonna have a good sit down. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Who knows where the conversation is going to go? But that is scheduled to be at Absolution. I also got a handful of non-wrestlers, ones that some of these people, these interviews I've worked on communication-wise, and nothing has really been pinned down except for that interview with production. And then I got a couple more that I'm going to take a little bit longer, so I'm not going to get too much into them. But they're things that I'm going to have to do some work on. So there. Right now, counting the production as one, I have 11 names on my list that I'd like to get interviews with, and there's going to be definitely people added to this list before I get some other ones on this list. So that's all things coming up. Next week, like I said, we have the beginning of 6 straight weeks of AIW. A lot of stuff going on because we have preview and reviews for the next 3 shows. We've got a Dilemma, Enter the Dragon, and Gauntlet for the Gold. So, now without any further ado, let's get into the interview with El Jordano Diablo from Let the Hate Flow Through You.
This is the Bard, the new lead of sports entertainment, professional wrestling, whatever you want to call it. The Prince of Broadway and the leader of the production, Frankie Flynn. And you're listening to Wrestling Cheers.
All right, we are back here on the podcast, and I'm having a very special guest live in the studio. And
people keep calling me special, and I don't get that. I'm not special. I'm just a big, fat, dumb retard.
Well,
who likes wrestling.
So am I.
No, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. I'm stoked to be here, man.
We have El Jordano Diablo from Let the Hate Flow Through You.
That's what I do. That and Above Below Entertainment, which is my budding, company, podcast thing, whatever I'm doing. Hopefully talk to Wrestling Cheers about maybe partnering up on some things,
I'm down.
Yeah, I figured you would.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, all right. But I am here, and you and me, we started talking a couple months ago, just because really talking the last month or so. But
yeah.
We touched base.
Yeah.
The first time a couple months ago, and I was like, all right, this guy knows what's up.
And
I had a Banana Club shirt on.
Yeah. And I finally started listening to Let the Hate Flow Through You after freaking promoting it for months.
Wait, you were promoting us, but you hadn't listened? Oh, you did tell me that.
Yeah, I told you that.
Why though? Why?
Because there's only 3 shows that I knew of people that were on from Lousy Weather Media.
Okay.
There was Chris Clem's Cavscast.
Yeah.
Good friend Chris Clem.
I love Chris.
Steve Guy, who, when this will go out, it'll be last week we had heard from Steve Guy.
Yeah, don't know him all that well, but we've crossed paths before, and he's mutual friends with a lot of friends of mine.
Oh, yeah.
So I would assume we'd probably get along. And we're on the same network, so I'd assume we'd probably get along.
So I was like, well, I'm promoting these guys, and I'm like, I know Sheer, and I like Sheer. I just never got a chance to listen to Let the Hate Flow. I'm just going to promote it. And
well, yeah, I remember when you and me first really got to talk. I remember you saying, like, when you guys break down into wrestling shit, it makes me really excited because you both know what you're talking about. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, at least if any, very few people appreciate that, because when we first did some wrestling shit on the show, there was a little, not much. Backlash is it's a wrestling term. I don't want to call it backlash, but like there was people who were like, hey, maybe you guys shouldn't talk about wrestling shit so much. And me and Sheer, when I told Sheer that, he was like, no, fuck that. Let's talk about wrestling shit more.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Those have been some of my favorite episodes that I've listened to, and I haven't even listened to every episode.
Right.
Eventually, I think I'm now to the point of I need to start going back and downloading every episode that I haven't listened to.
Sure.
Because, like I said, the first wave was shows that I knew the people who were on it.
Yeah, listen to your buddies and
also I started with the first 2 most recent from that point. Okay, so I was like, here's the recent stuff. Okay, go back, listen to everybody I know, and then it was okay. Let's go to the topics that I want to hear people talk about.
So you delved into other shit before you're like, I know there's wrestling episodes, but I want to see what they,
Well, funny thing is, it was like I've known Ray Hyclack ever since becoming an AIW fan.
Yeah, Ray,
so I was
Ray's
like,
a good boy.
So I was like, and that was a wrestling theme episode. I'm like, all right, this is going to be great. And then there
His was Internet Wrestling Community?
Yes, okay, I did the IWC. Yeah. And then
which is essentially guys like us.
Yeah.
But except I don't picture you as a troll.
No, I'm not.
I don't waste my time doing that.
For me, I hate the IWC because it's the whole
which sounds like a championship and a federation on its own.
Well, it is a federation.
The IWC is?
The Internet Wrestling... on the Internet.
Wait, is that
International Wrestling Cartel.
Britain? Do they do... Oh, I was going to say, because I was like, I didn't know if that was like... IWC sounds like it's a British thing.
No, International Wrestling Cartel. It's out of Pittsburgh.
Is it it's a promotion?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I know guys that are wrestling.
I mean, they just announced... what they call the Night of Superstars. It's in April, I believe, and the first match they announced is DJZ versus Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that the one with Sabu and fucking Zach Schildwachter from Powerbomb and stuff?
That was another great episode. I was going to get to that.
We can go there because I'll talk about my boyfriend. My girlfriend's sitting in the room right now, and there's one man I'd blow, and it's Zach Schildwachter and Leonardo DiCaprio. But we can go there later. No, he sent me I don't know where it's at, but he sent me this flyer for the show. It's Sabu, Shane Douglas, and somebody else from ECW. I was like, I'll pay $20 to go see that fucking show.
I don't think that's IWC.
Okay.
IWC,
right.
I'm trying to figure out Britt Baker was very big there. You know, Britt Baker from AIW.
She'll be in NXT in no time.
Yeah, I'd see that coming. Like, her and Candice probably, like, together right around the same time.
Without a doubt.
By the time this comes out, Candice might already be in.
Might already be there, yeah, for sure.
But going back to Let the Hate Flow Through You.
Yeah.
Those wrestling episodes were good. Then I even told you, I'm not a fan of Weezer. But, like, I like a couple songs. And
I like the first two records. I think I state that enough on the podcast.
Yeah. But I listened to that episode and I was like, I like a couple songs, and now I don't like these motherfuckers. Because whoever
Us
it was.
or the band?
The band.
Okay.
I'm just like, I'm like, they've put out so much fucking shit.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
Holy. And, like, half of it I never even knew about, or maybe I thought it was part of another album. I mean, part of a previous album. It's like, oh no, that was a different album. Oh, great. Like,
well, the thing is, like, the thing about that episode, like, for people, I don't know if this is a wrestling podcast, but, like, for people who like Weezer, what's funny about that episode is it's a friend of mine, JV, Josh Voland, who's been in a ton of bands in Cleveland, done a lot of cool stuff, wanted to come on the show because JV can talk, like, and I've always respected that about them. And the cool thing is, my girlfriend who's sitting right here, the reason that Weezer episode happened is because JV and Chelsea were sitting there one night talking about Weezer and apparently broke down Weezer's entire fucking catalog. And then that transpired into a Let the Hate Flow Through You episode.
yeah.
And, like, you can hear, if you go back and listen to that episode, like, after knowing me a little bit, if you go back and listen to that, you can hear me after, like, 2008. I thought we were done.
Yeah, no, I remember the part. Dude, I thought, I'm like, okay, what? There's more? What the fuck?
Apparently, Weezer has kept releasing records, and I don't know why, because they only made 2 good ones, and that was 20 years ago. But, yeah, I'm not a Weezer guy either. Yeah. I like the Blue Album, and I like Pinkerton. Everything else I don't really give a shit about.
For me, there's just songs that I like. Like,
Fair enough.
Hash Pipe, I liked Hash Pipe. I sort of like Buddy Holly, but then again, I remember asking this question years ago on Facebook. When you hear the words Buddy Holly, do you think of the singer or do you think of the Weezer song? And it's amazing to how many people... I think of the
singer, but...
I think of the singer, too, because I grew up listening to my dad's music, and it was, like Elvis, Johnny Cash...
Yeah, all that. Jerry Lee Lewis.
Buddy Holly.
Name any one of the... what was... Who did Lou Diamond Phillips play?
Richie Valens.
Richie Valens, that's what it is.
Oh, I fucking love... I've heard more Richie Valens songs than most people.
La Bamba's amazing.
Oh, the movie or the song?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Richie! His brother. Such
a good movie. I think I recently just, like, pulled up the ending on YouTube because I'm like, I need a good cry. Let me watch this ending. I'm like, oh my God.
I need a good cry.
It's sad.
It is, but that movie is very, in my opinion, it's not a great movie, but it's underrated. I think it's a good biopic.
I think the funny thing is Buddy Holly had a better career, but Richie Valens had a better movie.
Wait, what was Buddy Holly's movie?
Buddy Holly's story
Busey.
Gary Busey was, I mean, granted.
Whoa, what?
You didn't, yeah.
What movie am I missing? What's it called?
Buddy Holly's story.
And Gary Busey plays him?
Yeah. He plays a good Buddy. I give him credit. How
have I never seen that? That's fucking great. I need to watch it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that existed.
I think maybe because La Bamba was bigger and better. Like, I kind of like got swept under the rug.
It wasn't a La Bamba?
Yeah, I got you. La Bamba.
Unfortunately, the wordplay doesn't, because that's how it's pronounced.
Bamba. Yeah.
If it was La Bamba, you could be like, it was a La Bamba.
Yeah.
So I'm here to talk about wrestling, dude.
I don't know. I mean, these episodes are kind of more bullshit. We could talk about...
I mean, we can bullshit, but I want to talk about wrestling. Let's put it this way. So this is the third out of 5 podcasts I'm doing in the Akron area. I've done, this is my third tonight.
Okay.
The first one was a general interest podcast, which is called Drinks with Larry, which was a lot of fun. We talked about Star Wars: The Last Jedi, which pretty much just turned into like a bunch of people bitching about Star Wars. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, we could talk about that because I just watched it recently.
No, we don't. I did enough Star Wars talk. Second was I did the alt-right libtard podcast, which if you have not heard of what that is, it's local comedian Ricky Melton, who is a conservative guy, and I love him. I really do. He was on our show before. He talked about internet porn. That was... I
think I did.
That's Ricky Melton, and he's got a podcast that he does, the alt-right libtard, and it's got... he calls himself the alt-right guy, which he's not an alt-right person, but he likes to fucking irritate people. So, and then he's got another guy who's like a liberal person, and they bring me on the show, and I hate politics to begin with. So it was just me yelling at them for like an hour. So tonight I've done Star Wars, politics. I'm ready to talk about what I love, and that's fucking wrestling.
What sucks is we can't talk Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh shit. Oh goddamn.
Because I wanted to.
Have you not even seen Jericho versus fucking Omega?
I'm chipping away. I've had very little. Obviously, I've just moved recently.
I can tell. You're literally moving into this place today.
Well, not today, but same difference. It's like I've had a couple of hours maybe after work. Like I think Thursday night I came home. I even started with the Battle Royal. I'm like, screw it.
I zipped it. I watched mostly the Bullet Club matches. Until the very end, I watched Naito versus Okada, which is a barn burner banger. It's great. It's fucking great.
I think I left off right before the IWGP Junior Heavyweight 4-way.
So you haven't seen Marty Scurll's match?
No.
Right,
and I love Marty Scurll.
I have to withhold spoilers then.
It's
great. I mean, you got Will Ospreay, you got fucking Marty Scurll. Like, what more do you need than that?
I mean, when you guys got here, you parked next to my car, a.k.a. the villain.
I like that. That's
what I call it, the villain?
Because I had my 30th birthday party the other night, and we recorded a live Let the Hate Flow Through You, and it went over like gangbusters. It was a lot of fun. And I listened to today. You did listen to today?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I was wearing my Villain Club shirt because I was like, she was like, we should both wear Let the Hate Flow Through You shirts. I'm like, hey, no, this isn't. I'm not 13 at an Alfred Levine show. That's not happening. So I wore my Villain Club shirt, and like I'm just very happy with all the pictures because Marty Scurll's only 6 months younger than me, and it makes me so jealous because he's so good looking, he's so funny, he's so good at what he does. I would blow Marty Scurll given the fucking chance.
So that means he's like a year and 6 months younger than me.
Yeah, like he's like the fact, like it's still like, dude, that's a weird thing is like getting older, because like I've always wanted to be involved in the wrestling business. Like it's something I want to in some way do. I want to be a manager is what I want to be somebody's Paul Heyman is what I want to do. Somebody who can't talk, let me talk for them. And like watching Marty Scurll, I'm just like, dude, this guy has it all. Like, he's my superstar of 2017. Like, I think that he really broke out of what he was doing, like them kicking Adam Cole out of the Bullet Club and having Marty Scurll be the guy to replace him was a brilliant fucking idea.
Oh, yeah.
Because Adam Cole was on the trajectory to be in NXT last year.
Yeah.
But, like, they let him into the Bullet Club, and then they were like, well, fuck, he's leaving, so we got to figure out something to do with this fucking guy. And then the last 6 months of his, air quotes, indie career, he just kind of did whatever and you were at the, was it what's the AIW show where he came out in the mask? And
that was
was that
Absolution?
Absolution, yeah, it was the Absolution.
I think because he did JLIT Night 2 and he did Absolution. I'm like, okay, mask, blah blah blah. Okay, that was Absolution, which was awesome.
And he came out and like on the commentary, they're like, wait, so Adam Cole was the Laredo Kid the whole time? Yeah. Which was, it's brilliant shit. AIW's doing great work right now. But, I got to meet Austin, whatever, that night. Like, super nice guy.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, Chelsea, like, every time she watches, like, he's a beautiful man. He really is a beautiful man. He's got good eyes. I like Adam Cole. It's one of my favorites right now.
I went to Supercard of Honor and got to see...
Which, Pittsburgh or...
No, Supercard of Honor.
Oh, so out, like, East Coast, right?
That was the WrestleMania show.
That's their big show. And they do that in what?
I wouldn't say that's their big show, but that's the one that they do with WrestleMania weekend.
The one that okay that they go toe to toe with that still sells out every time.
Oh yeah.
Okay, right on. So you went to Supercard of Honor,
and
which was what in Austin? Wait, it was in Texas.
Lakeland, Florida.
Oh, it was Florida this year.
Yeah, because Orlando was the wrestling.
I'm thinking of when they did the last takeover.
Yeah,
in San Antonio.
Yeah,
right.
Which they do kind of do shows right around the same time too. Mm-hmm. But I was going to go to the opening match was Skrull versus Cole, and I like Skrull even before the Bullet Club.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was one of those things, especially like Skrull's going up against Adam Cole. Who do I root for? But such a to see where he has come. Like I didn't watch him much in TNA, and then
Marty.
Because
I don't even know Marty shit in TNA. I only know
if I'm
his
correct,
shit.
I think if I'm correct. Because just TNA, it's
a shit show.
I think he did the British boot camp. I think that's what he was on.
Okay.
But I don't remember much from there. But as soon as he debuted in ROH, I'm like this. I like this gimmick. I like the music.
Oh, he's great.
I like everything about it.
He's great.
And then it was like, okay, that transition to him versus Adam Cole. Who am I rooting for? Then months later, when that's who replaced Adam Cole, it's like, oh my god, that's perfect. Because now, this villain, have him in Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Villain Club, sure. I think I bought that. As soon as they released it, I'm like, I was on it.
He has been the most entertaining guy. I mean, because you can talk about Kenny Omega all day. Kenny Omega's gonna put on a great match no matter what. Kenny Omega's gimmick, in my opinion, not that great. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Where he shines is in the fucking ring. Mm-hmm. And you got guys like the Bucks are fucking killing it, man.
Oh, dude.
The Bucks are fucking killing it. And the beauty of it is they're bringing in their friends.
Yes.
They made friends with Marty Scurll, and Marty Scurll has the same type of humor that they do. Mm-hmm. So that being the elite shit makes fucking sense. And Cody Rhodes coming in on that is even better because it shines way more light on it. And the Bullet Club right now, because there's a strong presence of people that are saying, oh, the Bullet Club sucks. It's not what it used to be. Bullshit. The Bullet Club is selling way more shirts than they ever have. Yeah. All those dudes are making money, man. How could you be upset about that?
Dude, the whole Hot Topic thing is fucking, I went to Bell's at Belden, right when they got, their first really big shipment, and they actually had, almost a floor-to-ceiling kind of display of everything Bullet Club. I tweeted that out and got Cody to, he replied, and then he, put that same picture out there. But on top of that, when I checked out, the woman was like, tell me about Bullet Club. And I felt like... ironically going with the Hateful 3 that I listened to, it was like a religious thing. It was like, let me tell you about Bullet Club. So
let me preach to you.
Yeah, but it was basically you have no idea. I think I even told us at another store too. You don't know idea how awesome this is.
Yeah,
these are just regular guys. Yeah. This isn't through WWE. This is because Hot Topic was at WrestleMania. Yeah, and they seen all the Bullet Club shirts, and they're like,
and they asked Vince. Or they asked Vince people. They asked his people.
Yeah, they asked somebody oh, can we get those in the store? And they're like, yeah, that's
not ours.
Not ours. And I think I heard that story told on a podcast, and I actually had Cody tell me when he came recently. We started kind of talking about the whole thing.
Where'd you see him at?
First was Supercard of Honor, but it was
because I was gonna say he hasn't done AIW or anything.
No, he did Northeast Wrestling. Northeast Wrestling comes to the Youngstown-ish area, Niles area, about once a year. I think the big name headliners were Cody, Ryback, Lawler, Foley, Jimmy Hart, a couple people, one dude from the Kingdom, the crazy looking dude. I always forget his name, but people like that. And I know other years they've brought in the Hardys and a bunch of
Cody was telling you that.
Yeah, because we got into that conversation, and he was just people just came to. Oh, because I mentioned I seen you at Supercard of Honor, and he started the weekend that we sold so many shirts that they were at WrestleMania, and that's how we got the Hot Topic deal. And I'm like, it's crazy.
It was cool because when Jericho, because this is something we can wax intellectual about because we both love wrestling so much. Jericho coming into fucking New Japan is the biggest thing to happen in wrestling, in my opinion, since Austin and The Rock. And I'm
trying to think of
that's the despair. I'm not trying to disparage Cena. Cena deserves to be said in those names as well.
Yeah.
But That shirt came out, and Chelsea works at a record store right across the street from the mall, and I hit her up one day, and I was like, hey, when you get off work, would you mind running into Hot Topic for me? And the funny thing about that is like, we both pride ourselves on being like punk rock, fucking, nose grind, fucking punk rockers, old school shit. And I was like, hey, honey, can you go into Hot Topic for me and pick up a wrestling shirt? And it's the Jericho Alpha shirt. Because Jericho, I'll say this, we can talk about this all you want to. Jericho's my favorite wrestler of all time. I think he's the greatest thing that has... I'm wearing a Jericho shirt right now. Mm-hmm. He's the best thing that is... all around the greatest of all time. Like, he has every element that the greatest of all time would need. And there's people that are better talkers than him, even though he's one of the best. There's people that are better wrestlers than him, that are all the best. But I needed that fucking Alpha shirt. It's cool. It's a slap in the face to the Bullet Club, even though they're all making money. Yeah. They're all making fucking money. Oh, yeah. And him being in New Japan is one of the coolest things that I, like, as a wrestling fan, that I can remember. Like, since, I'd say the last thing I got, obviously I've been watching the last few years. I get really excited about certain things, but like Brock Lesnar back in 2002 and 2003, I was really excited about that. Like Jericho in New Japan is a brand new thing. Like that opens up a lot of doorways that I don't think people are realizing. Yeah. And I'm excited about that because I think it's going to force Vince McMahon to do different shit. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to force him to be like, hey, Jericho went and did this match and he's doing this other match with Naito. Maybe I should contract Okada for 6 months to have him come do an angle. And that would force people to buy the fucking WWE network. I think it would be mutually beneficial, but Vince is also an asshole, so I don't know if that's...
Like, I don't know if he would do that, but you figure just the business in general in the past couple years has changed.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And whether
it's not like it used to, it's not old school like it used to be.
Whether it be Vince, whether it be Trips, whoever it is, just like the I keep wanting to say the European title, but the UK Championship, like that whole thing. That whole thing. Kind of bringing in people, but maybe not signing them right off the rip. Like, look at Gargano. Gargano was working NXT for a year before officially signing. Yeah. And, like, that was just crazy. All of a sudden, boom, look at Johnny Gargano's on NXT. Oh, I'm going to see him in 2 weeks at the next AIW show. And now he's killing it.
Dude, that's what I think. I mean, because I feel like once Vince dies or lets go of the company, which I think he'll die before he lets go of the company, mm-hmm. I think that's the direction that it's headed, because I think Triple H, with the signings of guys like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and any of the women all the women that wrestle in WWE, that is all Triple H. That has nothing to do with Vince McMahon. It's Stephanie McMahon and fucking Triple H. All that stuff, they know where the business is headed. And I feel like they're constantly just up against a brick wall, just hitting Vince. Like, because he only does shit when he saw money in Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Why? Because there's money there. You can, like, that, in my opinion, that was my favorite rivalry of 2016, was those two. It was great. They had banger after banger of matches, and then when Sasha won the belt from her on Raw, mm-hmm. It was great. I mean, I see all these things happening, and it's like, honestly, in my opinion, the only thing standing in the way is Vince McMahon. Because he's so bullheaded, and he's like, no, this is the way it's supposed to be done.
I've always somewhat sided with Vince, though.
Really?
On certain things, because it's like, okay, I want to tell a story, and he's trying to go, and people are like, no, I don't want to hear that story. Well, that's not. I want to tell you this story. Let me tell the story. Oh, I don't want to hear it. Well, stop watching then. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, everybody hates Roman Reigns.
Not me. Like, not me. Not her.
I like Roman.
I love
him. I mean, is he a guy that I'm going to go out and buy any of his shirts? No, because much like Cena, a lot of his shirts never really appealed to me.
The only Cena shirt I own is the PBR one.
I knew you were going to... I wanted that shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Actually, no, I own a Cena shirt. I own the United States title one.
Okay,
because I saw that and I was like, I want it. Yeah.
But, like, dude, like, that's the thing is, like, I mean, I could fucking wax intellectual about that all day. There was a lull in wrestling for me. About 2005 is when I fell out, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I came back about 2007, and I was like, ooh, I still really like Randy Orton. Because natural talent in the ring, nobody can touch that motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's amazing. 2007, I came back in, and that's when CM Punk was really, like, starting to, like...
that was early.
When he started to, like... Not when he became CM Punk, but, like, when he was, you know...
He came in 2006, so you're talking... He's starting to get there.
His footing in WWE, doing the ECW, the bullshit ECW stuff. But like a guy like Randy Orton, that's what kept me watching, because and I hated Cena the whole time, because I was watching and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, dude, Randy Orton, this guy has the charisma of a villain. He has the charisma of a villain. He does not have the charisma of a face like Cena does. I'll get to that though. He's got the charisma of a villain. He had, like Jericho even just recently said, he was like, I wish Randy Orton cared about his job, because as good as he is not caring about his job, if he did, he'd be 10 times better. But
you can tell when Orton cares.
Yeah, exactly.
There's times when Orton...
Working versus Bray Wyatt, he gave a shit.
Mm-hmm. He had I don't remember what feud it was. I remember him on the Titantron, and you had like Edge and Christian in the ring. They were both retired, and you had someone else in the ring with him, and he referred to Edge and Christian as Terrence and Phillip. That one line popped me so hard that I was just like, okay, Orton. I was like, I from that moment for like almost a year.
Because Canadian too.
Yeah,
Like that's a good dig.
And whether that was written for him or not, just I was like, I think this is I Care Orton.
Yeah.
And I've always liked I Care Orton, and I think he had a good 6 months to a year. I was just really digging what he did.
And I mean, and that's the thing, is like him working versus Wyatt. Like, dude, I've said this for years, and I could go on about this for years. Bray Wyatt, when he first came in, should have been skyrocketed to the top as a top talent that was fighting for the belt. He has the best gimmick in wrestling. I mean, they've diminished it now, but like when he first came in, he had the best gimmick in wrestling, because it was legitimately terrifying. What was it? 4 years ago? What's it? 2018. So 5 years ago when he first came in, I was living with my parents for like a 4-month stint. My little brother likes wrestling. Bray Wyatt legitimately terrified the shit out of my brother, and that's how I knew it was good. I was like, oh, he's scary because he's got that voodoo thing about him. And you're like, what is this guy all about? Does he need these 3 other fuckers or 2 other fuckers to help him out? No, he doesn't. And I took my little brother to go see TLC in Cleveland, 3 years ago or 2-3 years ago, whenever they did it.
You mean TLCS?
Yeah. Chairs and Stairs.
Yeah.
yeah. It was that pay-per-view. And Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt had a banger of a fucking match.
Oh, yeah.
But they have done nothing for his booking, man. Like, he is so... Dude, for being like a guy like you and me, a fat fucking schlub who's an athlete, he's an actual athlete, for them to throw him aside, I'm like, of all people, like Vince, who likes bigger dudes, I'm like, why him? Why throw him aside?
I think with him, he was almost like The Undertaker.
He should have been.
But if you look at Undertaker's career, the first decade, he only won the championship twice.
But it meant something.
And
meant something.
I don't think it really, like, even with his title runs, I think the second one's the only one that really meant something.
Well, you mean like during the whole Austin thing and the corporate ministry?
No. WrestleMania 13, beating Sid.
WrestleMania 13, I thought that was him versus Kane in the Inferno match.
No.
Was that 4? That might have been 14.
Yeah, it's got to be 13 because
12.
He was.
Are you sure? Because 12 might have been.
No, 12 was Nash. 10.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't at 10. 11 was.
Bam Bam. No,
Bam Bam was LT.
Yeah, that was
I'm
LT.
trying to picture the match. Or maybe not 13. It was 11 versus Sid.
12, not 11. 11.
No, 12 was Sean.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
12 was Brett versus Sean, March 31st, 1996. I know that was my 10th birthday. my 2 favorite wrestlers going against each other for the title.
For
yes.
listeners who did not know, Justin is autistic. So
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, dude, well, as going back to what you were saying, he has a gimmick like Undertaker. And I said from the get-go, the one guy that Taker needed to put over was Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And guess what?
That's a one WrestleMania match.
They had an 11-minute squash match at WrestleMania, and it buried Wyatt. And he had already been buried a million times at that point.
This goes back to the IWC episode of Let the Hate Flow Through. That word buried, he wasn't necessarily buried. Buried means you get no offense in. He always gets TV time. If he was buried, he would be Kurt Hawkins 2013 before he got let go. Like he's one of those guys that always gets TV time. The biggest thing with him was giving him the opportunity. He should have been a Money in the Bank winner. He should have, or maybe he should have beaten Orton at this year's WrestleMania. To me, that was a head scratcher.
Oh, he should have beaten him. He should not have dropped the title, though.
That was a clusterfuck.
But dude, that's been Bray Wyatt's career the entire fucking time. He has one title win, and that motherfucker should he's been there 5-6 years. Like, as Bray Wyatt, he should have at least 3. Like, he's a top talent. Bray Wyatt is a top talent. Simply based on the fact that the size and difference of him, you can put him up against anybody, and it's going to be sellable. Yeah. Even Brock, dude, could you imagine Brock versus Bray? You could sell that match all day. All fucking day. But for whatever reason, he's sleeping with JoJo now, so that's the reason not to fucking give him the title. Like, I just don't get it. Like, cause I'm a Randy Orton fan, man. Randy Orton is the kind of guy, he realizes how that business is supposed to work. He don't need the title, and he knows he don't need the title. Cena knows he don't need the title. That's why he's been working mid-card for 2 fucking years. Anybody who listens to this podcast that doesn't like Cena, rewind what I just said. Been working the mid-card for 2 years. That man deserves a fucking medal. Like, you got guys...
Oh, even going back to the United States Open Challenge.
How good was that, man?
To me, the best one was the debut of Kevin Owens.
Oh, yeah.
Because that day I went over to a friend's house. I hadn't seen him in about a year. A year prior to that, almost like it was like a week to the day.
Yeah.
His wife passed away. Like it was like a random death.
Yeah.
And we'd always been into wrestling together, and I had the day off, and I was like, let's watch Raw together. And I was telling him about Kevin Owens. I'm like, this guy is amazing. I've been watching him since he was in Independence, and like, this guy is awesome. And then United States Open Challenge happens, and out comes Kevin Owens, and I go, like, this is him, dude. You're going to love this. And just that moment, that was my moment of the year. Him coming up.
Yeah, it was him, like Kevin Owens. I just got my girlfriend into wrestling, and she's a Braun Strowman mark. She loves Strowman, which I love too. It's been a long time since they've brought a powerhouse in that I give a fuck about. Like, he's good at destroying people. He's really, really good at it. And she fucking hates Kevin Owens, and I love it so much because she hates Kevin Owens. Like, she was telling me earlier tonight, she was like, I hate his accent, like, because he's from, Montreal. He's got that French thing going on. But she also said earlier tonight, she's like, he's really good at making me hate him. That just goes to prove he's really fucking good at his job. He's really, like, I was telling her earlier, like, he should never be a good guy. He should be one of those guys that's always a bad guy.
But he can be Austin good guy.
Well, yeah, that
is the one thing with him. He could be awesome.
He can do the anti-hero thing with him very, very easily. But it's got to be Kevin Owens versus the world. Like, you got to drop Sami Zayn. You got, like, which finally, like, another person, she can't stand Sami Zayn, and neither can I. But he's so good at being a bad guy. He's so good at being annoying. He's so good at all that shit. So I get it. Like, the stuff, like, because, they always talk about the casual viewer, and she would be considered the casual viewer. Yeah. And everything they try to do hits on those points for her. And I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Like, that's really cool, because they need Braun Strowman to be over. They need him to, and he's over as fuck right now. I love watching it, dude. Like, he just comes in the ring and he just destroys people. He rips them apart. It's so much fun to watch.
I should show you the tweets from a friend of mine who is like anti-Strowman because he's comparing it to Ryback.
Not even.
I think one of the biggest differences between them,
one's a safe worker and one's not.
well, Strowman has a little bit of charisma.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I think that's what kind of killed Ryback was kind of flat, but
Yeah, he's boring.
Like-
they wanted him to be Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
It's already happened.
at least Braun could be funny.
Oh yeah. Did you see the Elf video? The Elf video was amazing. Like the fact that he can poke fun.
Oh wait a minute, no, when I stand corrected. He wasn't comparing him to that. He was comparing him to Rusev, and I'm just like, that's where I went. Rusev has way more charisma.
Rusev is one of the most fun things to watch on TV right now. Happy Rusev Day.
Oh, even before that, back when he was with Lana, they were doing like one of those backstage like social media question
like
things.
one of their dumb bullshits.
And like Rusev skipped a number. Like maybe they start with 1. He's like, "What's number 3?" And he's like, "We number 2. What's number 3?" Like he just, those little. He's gotten so like he never really. I can't say didn't need Lana, but he came out of his shell and he's so good.
Oh, he's great. I watched.
That's the guy I want to see strapped.
One of the things. Oh, he deserves it too. One of the things I just watched. I just watched not Table for 3. What's the other one? Ride Along.
Yeah.
The Ride Along
Car for 2
episode that they just did.
I just got a raw spoiler. And I'm happy about it, but I'm not happy to have seen it. Sorry. I'm sorry.
My girlfriend has been sitting in this room the entire time, and I hope the mic picks that up.
I could probably.
Will you do me a favor, babe? And go grab me another beer out of the fridge.
Yes, sir.
All right, awesome. Thank you. All right.
If you need a bottle opener, the Fandango Gauntlet is a bottle opener. Okay. Well, it's the thing on the refrigerator that doesn't say "Crazy Cat Lady."
All right. So, I'm sorry. She saw a raw spoil, and now I want to know what's going on.
So do I. Because I probably won't watch tonight.
Oh no, we were talking about Braun.
Braun and Rusev.
Dude, like Rusev. Oh yeah. No shit. I was watching the Ride Along, and his report, like Lana, and I'm like, I'm not. Oh, thank you for opening it too. I'm not. If you listen to any of my podcasts, you know I'm not a misogynist. Lana's a dumb bitch. She is not a smart lady. But watching them together was very, very cute. Like it was awesome. And they played like a dating game in the car. Mm-hmm. Like if you have the WWE Network, you can watch it. It's a lot of fun. And he has such a sense of humor about him because I really pay attention when I like wrestlers. I pay attention to who they are outside of the ring too. Mm-hmm. There's certain guys that I know their politics suck, but they're so good in the ring that I don't give a fuck.
Dolph Ziggler?
He's actually, that's all trolling. He's a liberal boy from Cleveland. Like, he really is a liberal dude from Cleveland. He just fucks with everybody. I know that for a fact, and I respect the fuck out of it.
Okay. I never really bugged me, but I figured, like, hey, if that's your politics, that's your politics. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, he goes on Fox News, but he's just trolling him the whole time. It's fucking brilliant. I love it. But like Rusev, like getting to actually watch him interact as a person with his wife and cause like what happens on that episode of Ride Along is, the Fashion Police, who's the other car that they're filming, are fucking with him and they stop him and they get out and Fandango has his shirt off and he's like, what are you guys up to? And like, I was explaining to Chelsea the other night, cause we've been watching Total Divas as well, which I hate trash TV, but if it's got wrestling in it, I'll watch it. Yeah. Like Fandango, legitimately a funny dude who can compose himself and like play all the beats. Yeah. And like watching them all interact was a lot of fun. And like Rusev does not take himself super seriously. He knows how to have fun with it. Like that's what sold me on Rusev. And on top of the fact that like he is really good in ring for being as big as he is. Mm-hmm. I like that guy. I really like that guy. So that was me blowing Rusev for a little bit.
Mega tangents. I'm trying to figure out what the hell we were.
Young Bucks? We want to talk about Young Bucks. We want to talk about Marty Scurll. We want to talk about Jericho.
I would say the Young Bucks are funny to me. Like I mean, I like them, but
How could you not? You know,
I actually
so much fun.
Prior to since 2008, beginning of 2016, I wasn't even a Bullet Club fan.
Fair enough.
I thought they were just kind of whatever, and they came to AIW twice.
Like 3 years ago, right?
2015, I believe it was.
Because I would like to preface this by, like, anybody who follows me that, like, and my opinions on wrestling, because there are a couple, because I'll get tweets from people like, hey, you said this about wrestling. I'm like, all right, well, you can't hold me to continuity. I'm a drunk.
Yeah.
The Bucks for the last 6 years have always, like, I'm not saying I've been, like, I've gotten way more into the indies the last year and a half than I ever did before, but the Bucks and Bobby Roode, those dudes were always on my radar. I always knew who they were. I always knew what they were doing. I wasn't following them super closely.
No.
But, like, looking back on things, I'm like, fuck, man, I had so many chances to see the Bucks do shit in a gymnasium, and I'll never get to see that again.
Dude, Absolution 10 was it 10? I think it was. It's fucking nuts. 8-man tag? It was dudes on TV versus Team AIW. Team AIW was Josh Prohibition, Johnny Gargano, Alex Daniels. Maybe it was 10-man tag. And the Young Bucks versus Ray Rowe, EC3.
Ooh.
DJZ.
Okay.
I'm missing somebody.
Was it Dick Justice?
No, he was on TV at the time.
He is now.
Ray Rowe, EC3. M-Dog Matt Cross.
Oh, obviously, Matt
And
Cross. Yeah.
Samoa Joe.
At AIW? And
Right after he signed, he was day 2, JLIT.
okay.
And then in between, or right before, literally.
So it was like
hold
one of
on.
the last indie matches he was wrestling.
Day 2 JLIT was the Thursday after he debuted
No
in
shit.
NXT.
Okay.
Then they booked him for Absolution. By the time JLIT and Absolution, he had signed.
Damn.
One of my favorite matches. It's like people have asked me, like, what's your favorite match AIW you've seen? And I mean, I have ones that I really love, like Rockstar Spud versus Marion Fontaine. Marion Fontaine versus Chuck Taylor. I love comedy wrestling, so those are 2 top ones.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff between Tracy Smothers, Cole Cabana, Dick Justice, like a lot of people like that. Now even Space Monkey. But that 10-man tag match will never happen again.
So, going off what you just said, I named, what did I name? I named the Young Bucks, I named guys that I paid attention to forever. Because TNA, I still consider the fucking indies.
They're definitely now indies more than anything.
And I don't mean that in any way to disparage it. It just didn't, it wasn't this, it doesn't have the same appeal as WWE.
Well, for me, I often have this conversation with people back in like 2012 or so. They always want to say like the big 2. It was WWE and TNA. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, you either have to look at it as the big one,
yeah.
WWE, or, because this was my thing to them, I was like, you have to put, if you're going to put TNA in that conversation, you need to put Ring of Honor in. Because,
without a doubt.
Because, and this is even before their latest big boom, like, they're roughly the same. And in between me making that comment and a couple of years ago, I watched as like TNA was like sinking down, even becoming like no more than ever. Like this is like they're definitely indies, and I'm watching Ring of Honor like just close that gap, and like I don't know if they passed them.
They have,
but they are. It's depending on how you want to look at it.
All right. Well, I want to go back and say really quick because Chelsea, one of our favorites together is Samoa Joe. He's fucking. But when I was saying the Young Bucks and I forget who else I mentioned before, but like Samoa Joe, since the moment he debuted in TNA, the first time I watched him wrestle 15 years ago, that dude has been on my radar ever since because I was like, how does a big guy move like that?
Yeah.
Going back to what you were saying about Ring of Honor, they have, as far as content goes, they have surpassed TNA easily.
Mm-hmm.
Easily, no doubt. However, Don Callis and somebody else, I forget who, just took over creative for that. So, Don Callis is the guy that brought Jericho to Japan. Cyrus the Virus.
No. The other guy, because
yeah, I can't remember who.
I recently just listened to that talk as Jericho. It's he's Canadian too.
I forget his fucking name, but like, dude, the fact that those dudes are taking over TNA, now I'm like, okay, well, that will get me interested because Don Callis is a genius.
Well, over the past couple years, there's a lot of things that TNA's done. I'm like, okay, like let me see what you do here. But then again, there's like the background things that have screwed them up, you know. But you know, like right now, having a guy like Ethan Page in there,
yeah,
big fan of Ohio versus everything. The Chris brothers.
I mean, they've always had talent.
Mm-hmm. Well,
where has that talent ended up?
The problem is some of the booking.
Oh, it's
like,
always the booking.
literally during like the Hogan years, like hearing stories like of Matt Morgan, like they were pushing him, and at the last minute, it's like, yeah, you're gonna lose to someone you shouldn't lose to because we're trying to build you, but we're gonna have this old star. That might have been, was it Kurt? Somebody that he was supposed to, or maybe it was Hogan.
Well, I mean, dude, like for example, like friends of mine, like Zach Showalter and Wes Allen, like my homies. Those are my fucking boys. Like they hate Jim Cornette, and I get why they hate Jim Cornette. I understand why people hate Jim Cornette.
I hate Cornette when he talks wreshling now.
Yeah. Well, the thing is if Cornette talks wrestling now, it doesn't matter because what he did and where his place stands in wrestling has come and passed. Does he have the right to talk about what's going on now? Absolutely. Is his opinion wrong? Yeah, because he refuses to let the business grow.
Yeah.
He doesn't let it grow, and it has grown. I mean, look at dude, the Bullet Club is bigger than the NWO ever was.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have NWO shirts in fucking every store.
I think I did buy a NWO shirt at Walmart.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But it was back then when wrestling hit that Attitude Era boom.
Well, yeah,
there
in
was
98.
You could buy, but it was an NWO shirt. It was Wolfpack because I was a huge Wolfpack fan.
That's not an NWO shirt. That's a Wolfpack shirt. That's a difference.
It says NWO.
Is it in black and red?
Black and red. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a Wolfpack shirt.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the original
but it says
NWO shirt.
But at that time,
I think the Bullet Club's bigger than that. Is what I was trying to say.
No. I totally agree with you. I actually think the Bullet Club's bigger. Even you compare what they do now, like NWO. It was all about them.
Oh yeah,
like
it was about the click.
Yeah, they kind of killed WCW. Whether you believe, there's other people like no, but
yes and no. Yes and no.
I agree with what I've heard certain wrestlers say of how like a lot of the storylines blurred because it was NWO for such a long time.
Yeah.
So I agree with that whole thing, but...
Well, yeah, the NWO got boring because it was like, how many people are we going to bring the entire WCW roster on as NWO guys?
Well, Bullet Club's done that too.
Yeah, but they also... Did you say you didn't watch New Year's Dash?
No, I'm not even... like I said, through Wrestle Kingdom. Hopefully by the time this gets posted...
All right, 3 words. J fucking White is all I'm going to say.
Oh, that's been spoiled for me.
Oh, it was already spoiled. He pulled a DDP. It was great.
Google... Well, not that part. Google already freaking ruined that. Like, it's like one of my news cards when I pulled up was like the top one. Jay White joins Chaos. Shut the motherfucker. Thanks, Google.
Well, the way they did it, though, was pretty cool.
I like it when I could avoid spoilers when I'm behind on New Japan, because, like, I think, like, literally, I paid for New Japan World in July. I haven't watched that thing until now.
I paid for New Japan World. What was it? Me and Chelsea were sitting in bed last week, and I was like, well, I might as well spend the $10 an hour next week for Jericho's match.
Yeah.
And I watched all of Wrestle Kingdom 12, and I watched all of New Year's Dash, and I was like, they have earned my $10 a month easily.
Yeah.
Especially with Naito versus Jericho coming up shortly.
But when I was behind, because I was just torrenting the shit.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
hey, you're not a real wrestling fan if you don't pay for it.
Well, I was like,
fuck you.
I looked at it like, I'm torrenting it right now. I'm going to pay for it later. Like, let me get my free samples in, and then I'll buy the product.
Right.
So,
because I have no problem paying for the product. If the product's good, I have no problem paying for it.
And even side note about all that, I got screwed because with New Japan, they bill you the first of every month.
First of every month, yeah.
I ordered on the 30th of a month. I didn't know this. All of a sudden, I get a random charge a couple days later. I'm like, what? Motherfucker.
And you know what's cool is? It's cheaper than WWE. It's $8.99 a month. It's 999 yen, which is like $8 a month. It's great.
It fluctuates.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, with how the all right, fair enough.
Because I could actually pull up my checkbook of because I keep it on my phone because the exchange rate changes.
Yeah.
And there was times where
I mean, dude, if it hovers around $8 to $10, I have no problem paying for that. Dude, Wrestle Kingdom was so good. I'll pay for a full year of that shit.
I think the cheapest I've paid was $9.10. The most expensive was $9.37.
Yeah, so it's not. Yeah, New Japan's crushed.
So, I mean, still cheaper. But what I was saying is, ever since I've tried to watch New Japan, I've been behind one way or another. So when I was watching when Suzuki-gun debuted, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then so many events later, when Zack Sabre Jr. joined them, that was not, maybe because it wasn't a big Bullet Club thing, that was not spoiled or shown anywhere. So when he joined them, I was like, oh, like I didn't see that coming. That's awesome. And no one spoiled it for me. This is, because I must have been behind like a month or so. Because they have so many, that's the only thing, they have so many
You a Zack
fucking
Sabre
shows.
Jr. fan?
I think, I'm not really, it's like, I'm a fan of like every wrestler. Granted, there's a few that I don't like.
He bugs me.
He was not the guy who's been AEW.
I like Will Ospreay. And I
Ospreay's
understand why people hate him. I get why people hate him, but you can't deny how good he is. He's great. One
of my favorite matches from WrestleMania weekend involved Will Ospreay, and I have to look it up to what it was, but it was a WrestleCon Super Show. It was probably a 10-man tag match. It was Team Ricochet versus Team Ospreay.
Okay.
And they picked their own teams.
Yeah,
and I'm telling you, this fucking match was spot after spot after spot after spot. But it wasn't just the high-end insane stuff. There was like there's a little bit of comedy stuff there. Like also, this was the day before Drew McIntyre went back to WWE because he
showed up in NXT
because he was in that match. And actually, I seen him that day at WrestleCon.
He looks so much better now than he did 5 years ago. Like, he looks like a WWE superstar now.
Yeah.
If you look at interviews of him 5 years ago, he doesn't. And
I've always liked McIntyre.
No, he's great. And dude, his what's he call his shotgun kick? The Claymore. Mm-hmm. It's a great finisher. A great finisher. He's really, really good at doing it. I don't know. I would assume, how long have we been going? Like an hour, I would assume?
Close to.
Okay.
We're at about the 55-minute mark.
I was going to say, coming up 2018, we didn't even really talk about it, but like how I got into wrestling, and I'd love to do a podcast about like you and me both, like where we started, where, like where we fell in, where we fell out. I think that'd be really good.
So
we'll leave something to be desired to talk about that. But like who I see in 2018, like being the top stars, Adam Cole is gonna skyrocket to the fucking top. Aleister Black, same fucking thing. Those two dudes could fight for 3 years against each other, and I'm gonna watch it. Aleister Black, Tommy End, whoever's listening to this, like, he's amazing. He's so good. And Adam Cole has 10 times the charisma of any wrestler right now. So, like, everything he's going to do with Undisputed Era is going to be good. But once he breaks out on his own, because I would assume they're going to do 6 months more of Undisputed Era. He's going to break out on his own, and he's going to the main roster. It's probably...
I'd figure they'd go on together.
Really? All three of them?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Unless they stay in extended... Because one thing that I always hate when people talk about NXT, they're like, oh, well, why is this person going up instead of this? Because NXT's still a show.
Yeah.
They still need to sell tickets. So you need to keep a guy like Johnny Gargano there for a couple years because that's star power.
That's who's selling tickets for them.
Like you have the star power people who go up their own way, but then you have your other, like, I'm trying to figure out what was a recent call up that people are like, ooh, why are they going up? Like maybe like some of the women. Like, oh, well, why is almost called
Asuka deserves it.
I almost called Heidi, but like, oh, why is Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan going up? Why not? I want to call them Flawless, but Peyton Royce and all that. It was like, well, because they're still selling tickets down there.
Yeah.
And eventually they will get called up.
Yeah.
But who's coming to an NXT show and I want to see Liv Morgan?
Not me. Certainly not.
Okay.
Me.
Ed from Pod Van Dam probably is, but I don't think he was really a big fan until she came on SmackDown.
I mean, like people who are coming, it's going to be another big year for Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is going to get, if not the WWE Championship, he'll get back to Raw and get the what do they call it now? Universal Championship.
No.
It's going to be a big year for him. It's going to be a big year for definitely Adam Cole. Drew McIntyre, as soon as he makes main roster, I bet he'll be on SmackDown. But could you imagine the matches between him? He could work with Jinder Mahal and make Jinder Mahal look good.
Mm-hmm.
He could work with AJ Styles again, and those two are going to have great fucking matches. They're doing a lot of things right now, and it's a matter, and like I said earlier on the show, it's a matter of time until Vince dies, because I really do think the wrestling business is going to get way better after he dies, because he still holds on to ideals that don't need to be there. And I think Triple H and Stephanie are trying to move in a different direction, and I think that's going to be really cool for the wrestling business, because they've already strictly based off the United Kingdom Championship. Like, that is a huge thing for them to do. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the future. Very, very excited. I love it.
Before we wrap up here, how did you become an AIW fan?
AIW? Well, I watched, I saw some matches via YouTube. This was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I saw some matches 4 or 5 years ago that I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that people were doing shit like that in the local level, blah, 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 blah. I got really into the Young Bucks. Like, they were, like I said earlier, they were always on my radar. Bobby Roode was always on my radar. I'm forgetting the name I said again earlier, who was always on my fucking radar. Samoa Joe. He wasn't really AIW, but, like those specific ones that were, independent wrestlers, essentially, even though some of them worked for TNA. But, that was really my first inclination, because I was like, wait, because I knew about the Young Bucks before I ever learned about them wrestling for AIW. And, I missed my opportunities to go see them at AIW. So I kind of always paid attention here in and here out. And then about 1.5 years ago, when I started hanging out with certain friends, they were like, you gotta come to this show. And then I've been coming to everyone ever since. Like, PB is a friend of mine now, PB Smooth, who, that man, mark my fucking words, will be a major player championship wherever he goes.
Oh, yeah.
He will be a champion, and he will be able to carry a show. That dude's gonna be the best. Derek Direction and the rest of the fucking production, god damn, are they amazing. They're fucking fantastic.
Did you see the results for the last show?
Wait, the one I didn't go to?
Yeah.
No.
Well, PB Smooth is one half of the AIW Tag Team Champions.
Well, I know that, yeah.
That was Hornswoggle.
That was, where were we that night? Was that Claire's birthday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to our friend's birthday party, and I got a text from somebody who was like, hey, PB is fucking half champions with fucking Swoggle.
And also the production added a member.
Who?
Eddie Only.
How many members those motherfuckers got now?
He's, I think this is it, because this is the stagehand.
Because that's like 6. You got
6?
Magnum, you got fucking Frankie, you got Derek, you got,
Colby.
what's his name?
Colby.
Is it 5?
Yeah, I think it's 5.
Okay, which is a good stable.
I think that's...
But all I'm saying, though, is I'll fucking cut a promo right goddamn now.
Hold on. They could add one more person. They could add a leading lady. That's the only...
Yeah, they could do that. But all I know is my boy PB Smooth, he has still yet to see redemption. And he's gonna run through all those motherfuckers. And they're all gonna get choke slams. And it's all gonna be graves for the production at one point or another. Because those little bitches don't deserve to beat him like they have. They cheat every fucking time. And they hit him with a Nickelodeon fucking VHS. And that's not gonna happen for much longer. PB Smooth is a tag team champion right now. And he will be a world champion sooner rather than later. Mark my fucking words.
As I reveal my tattoo, don't fuck with the production. I have a I've mentioned before. I have a comedy tragedy tattoo. I love that. Production's one of my favorite things.
Oh, they're great. No, I like talking that, and I'm still gonna defend my boy PB, but like the production, I have an "Are You Afraid of the D" shirt. I have a "The Cut" shirt. I think the production's great. Those little bitches cheat to win, and my boy PB does not, and he's gonna get his. It's the way it's gonna go. And I'll drink all the beers.
What other?
Are you gonna have me back? I would love. I could talk to you about wrestling for hours.
What are you gonna have me on your show?
What do you hate?
Coming up with a topic for your show. That's literally one of the things I thought of.
Dude, I mean, the offer. Hey, we're recording 4 episodes on Friday. You want to be one of them? If you can.
It's trying to because the time I get off work, then I have to go to Cleveland.
Where do you normally work at? Why are we talking about this on air? Nobody wants to hear this.
Yeah, but yeah, eventually, one way or another, I definitely need to come on.
You're more than welcome. We will have you on. I do a podcast called Let the Hate Flow Through You, which is essentially how we met. And you should look it up because if you hate shit, people come on once a week and they hate something and we talk about it. And Sheer's unstable and I'm unstable. And that's who you should talk about the shit you hate with is unstable people.
It's fun hearing people just talk about like shit. Like, sometimes it's like, I like this topic. How does it like? I'm like, who the fuck hates the Lion King? Oh, there's an episode on why someone hates the Lion King.
There is an episode on the Lion King.
That was another thing. I was like, how does anybody hate this? But there was.
And I mean, you can if what we're talking about intrigues you in any way, you can find us at like the @ symbol, The Hate Flow on any social media. That's where we're at. Sheer handles the Twitter. I handle the Instagram, and then we kind of both trade with the Facebook. I have a podcast network, Jesus Christ, called Above Below Entertainment. We got 4 shows on there. One's a sports show. One's a teach white people about why they suck. Done by a black guy and a is Wilson a Puerto Rican? I got that right? All right, perfect. I'm a good boss, aren't I? Then we got Second Shot, which we call the rip-off show of Let the Hate Flow Through You, where people come on and make you give a second shot to something. It's a rip-off, but my cousin's on it and I love him. And then we also have, let's see, that's boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, and then the fantasy. If you like sports, we have a it's called Fantasy Boys, and it's Bill Squire from the Alan Cox Show, and Ryan DePerna, who's a comedian from Cleveland, and Brian Kenny, who's a comedian from Cleveland, and they talk about sports, and it's really rad. We're adding another show this month called The Default Setting, which is a girl comedian, Jess Falstick from Cleveland. She's really funny, and it's going to be about, like, say when you were born, you think you were born with hating U-Haul boxes, because that's what I'm looking at. She's going to talk to you about why you hate U-Haul boxes from when you're born. We have another show debuting probably within the next 3 months, which is my girlfriend Chelsea's show called You Have Terrible Taste with Chelsea King, where she talks to people about why the music that they like sucks, or why she likes the music that they like, but you still have terrible taste with Chelsea King. And we have, I'm doing an interview. There's a ton of shit going on right now, and I just want everybody to be involved. So that's where I'm at. And hey, I love wrestling. Shit, hit me up anytime you want to talk about wrestling.
So you want to throw out your other social media tags? El
Jordano Diablo. That's where you can find me if you want to hear me ranting about dumb bullshit. El Jordano Diablo. Or Above Below Entertainment. Whichever. Doesn't matter. And I want to come back and talk more wrestling with you.
We'll see what we can do. I know I'm booked up for a little while just because AIW likes to have a lot of shows. That's...
Well, you do a lot of review shows and stuff, which is cool. But no, like, dude, anytime you want to do, I would be more than willing to come do a review show with you. But anytime you want to, like, I would love to just sit there and talk wrestling with you, because we clearly have been wrestling fans a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And we can wax intellectual. We could talk about 96, Mankind versus Shawn Michaels. Great feud.
Oh, yeah.
Great feud. So I'm down for whatever. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Is that what we do? Is it over?
Well, sure. I could do a closing right now and say, and on to this.
Hey everybody, this is Jock Sampson, and if you ain't listening to Wrestling Cheers podcast, you are a low-down piece of shit. And if you don't listen to it, I'm going to come to your house, and I'm going to beat up your entire family, and especially your grandmama. Listen or burn in hell.
So there you have it, a very, 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 okay, maybe not that very, drunk El Jordano Diablo, as we had a very fun discussion on many different topics. Like I said, if you head on over to that podcast on Monday, when it should be released, the wonderful Let the Hate Flow Through You, I will be on there, and we'll be talking about Smarks. Good hour-long conversation there. So I hope you join the discussion. Wrap things up here. We got all the AIW shows that I mentioned. Those next 6 weeks, nothing but AIW talk, and those should be good shows. Gonna skip going over the actual cards, because there's just so many. But of course, as we wrap this up, one more reminder, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. You can get a hold of us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And my contact info pretty much follows the same format. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all under Heavyset330. That's Facebook.com/Heavyset330, Twitter.com/Heavyset330, and Instagram.com/Heavyset330. If you send me a Facebook friend request, let me know you listen to the show. Because every so once in a while I get randoms, and it's fans I don't recognize, fans I've never talked to. Listen, because, Wrestling Cheers, everybody knows your name, but especially if you don't go to shows, you just listen to the show, please let me know if you listen to the show, and I'll be glad to learn the name. Love hearing from all the fans out there. And of course, head on over to whatammaneuver.net. Buy yourself some Wrestling Cheers merch. Check out all the shows on the Trending Topics Network, like All Beer Inside, Eurovision Showcase, Legends on Siren Radio, Old School at the Movies, TTN at the Movies, View from the Fourth Row, and Chill, and the 450 podcast. And check out all our podcast friends, such as Chris Clem's Cavscast, Wingcast, a Wingman podcast with Steve Guy, Let the Hate Flow Through You with Jeremy Shear and El Jordano Diablo, Pod Van Dam, The Road Home from Wrestling, the weekly wrestling podcast, the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. Check out Thrift Store Jobber on eBay, Instagram, Twitter, and Etsy. Check out our friends at Rebel Life Media and NEO Sports Insiders. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even if you got a problem with our boys on the production. Later.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Would you like to get away? Sometimes you want